Oh, just make sure you speak up because the microphone is not that great.
Okay.
Can you tell me your experience with payday lending services, or have you ever taken out a payday loan?
Honestly, I haven't, no.
Why haven't you used those services before?
Maybe because the lack of knowledge or the lack of tenacity to look into it. That's pretty much it.
Do you know anybody that has used payday loan services?
No, not at this moment. I can't think of anyone though.
Okay. Do you have a bank account?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But I will have one soon as soon as I get a job.
Okay, I know that's right.
Yeah.
So like, are you comfortable with banks? Like, you would open a bank account though?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
The checkings and the savings.
Okay, okay. Because a lot of times people are uncomfortable with the banking services and the fees. So I was just wondering how you felt about that. But, like, do you budget money? Are you good at budgeting?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yes.
And where did you think you learned that from?
Part of it came from not having money to do the things I want. You know, like I guess the way I prioritize it, it took a bad experience. I had to bump my head a few times, so it
How?
didn't.
Like,
Well, when I was younger, I used to, I didn't. Instead of getting the things I needed, I would get the things I wanted, like clothes or shoes, instead of getting toiletries such as toilet paper, deodorant, body wash, soap, or things of that nature. And it's better when you budget your money because you know what you can save, you know what you're working with, you get a better understanding at the things that you need versus the things you want, and it helps you save money in the long run. If it's just like you have to keep a pattern. Once it gets repetitious, then a little more and more, your money can build, depending on what your financial status is. So that's pretty much how I learned the hard way. But
okay. Do you think your child? Well, you said you were younger when that happened, but do you think your childhood influenced the way you spent money? Like, how do you think that came into play, or did they?
I'm gonna say the biggest like issue that came with me as far as that's concerned is I always was envious of what other people had. So seeing people with nice things, I've always wanted it. Not thinking that some of those people that got the things that they have, they did it by budgeting, prioritizing, and saving their money. And that's the proper way to do it. But at that time, I didn't know. I was young, so all I know is I just wanted, which was pretty selfish. So it took a while for me to, grasp an understanding of that.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
How do you? Oh, I'm sorry. How do you save money now?
Now it's pretty tough because I'm doing temp services such as labor works, and I might do some paint jobs, some odd-end paint jobs, and hopefully the construction company I work for called Master Masons, they may have a few jobs available. So the money that I do get a hold of, I'm not able to save because I have to budget between bus fare and having to eat sometimes. So it's kind of tough. It's kind of difficult because like there's no constant steady income. So whatever I have, and I only get food assistance. So like that doesn't even last for a whole month. Even if I budget, I may spend 50 at the beginning of the month, and then I'll spend 50 in the middle, like around the 15th, and that would leave me with about 100 at the end. So I try to use my money wisely. So I budget between bus fare and getting to all my appointments and anything else that needs to happen. Like I go to a lot of functions. Like the last two functions I went to was the interview with Seth Davis at the Urban League about minimum wages. So I really like participating in events like that because I feel like you're fighting for the right, to have equal opportunity. And the cost of living has gone up, the inflation, the prices has gone up. So we need people, that's willing to come to those type of functions and speak up and put a voice out there because a lot of individuals are not putting their voice out there, not stepping up, and they're not educating themselves on policies and certain rights we have. So I believe very strongly in that. Not to go off topic.
No, it's totally fine. So you sounds like you budget really, really well.
It took a while for me
really,
to get to
really
that.
well.
Yes,
And
especially since I'm a returning citizen. I really want it. Like I want it like more than I ever did before. I really want to change. And the reason why is because I'm a 3-time offender. So, and I have a number. So it's like, and at the age that I'm at, there's not many agencies out here that are willing to work with young adults with records, you know, after the age of, you know, around the age of 24 and 25. People, I guess society here figures, you know, you should have it together by now. You should know better. You should know what's expected of you as a young adult. So that's why it's so serious to me. So any opportunity that presents itself, I take advantage of it. I'm more than willing to work, you know, volunteer. I'm willing to do a lot of volunteer work and put a lot of time in to prove to employers on my resume or in verbal communication that I'm a changed person. You know, I'm trying to be a productive member of society. So,
cool.
Does that answer your question?
That does answers really well. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to figure it out.
That's fine.
So because you budget so well, at the end of the month, it sounds like you do have a little bit of savings.
Yes.
A little bit.
It's pretty difficult because sometimes, like, I have to get a haircut.
So that goes through that.
That's mandatory because you want to be well groomed for an interview and look decent and presentable.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may invest in some dress socks to color coordinate with what I'm wearing. I don't mind going suit and tie at all.
Right.
You know, as a matter of, I like to dress. My favorite dress is with the vest. You know, I like the vest, but I don't have, it's nothing I won't do. So.
Right.
So when you are low on cash, like what type of things do you cut back on? Like how, when you are low on cash or even food stamps, like what do you do? Like, oh, so I gotta budget these. I know I got this gotta last me until whenever.
I cut back on extracurricular activities, like, because there's other things you can do. A walk in the park, you know, a lot of things you can talk and, you know, just, you know, go places, go to the park, walk around. It's a lot of other things you can do. Play games, board games, dominoes. And those are good extracurricular activities that don't cost anything, versus going to the movies or going out and having a drink and things of that nature, or going places that really, you know, you really don't need to go. If you're going to go anywhere, make sure it's a necessity. Make sure you're going to get something back out of it, or something's going to come back to you that's beneficial. That's what I had to learn, and that's what I do now. So, and it also has a lot, it also cross-references with time management, managing your time. It has a lot to do with it, and it's something I learned when I was in college before I became confined. So, you know, I had to make sure all my buses were mapped out and scheduled. So as soon as I got off of work, I had to make sure I was at school on time. So I really liked that, and I started saving my money because I was tired of being broke. And so if I made $153, the $53 goes in my pocket, but the $100 I would let my grandmother hold this for me. You know, that's how I did it, and it worked. I saved up to about $300 before I was confined, and it paid for both of my food boxes while I was confined.
Okay.
So
That's what's up.
yeah.
So in that sense, do you think that in the future, instead of giving the money to your grandmother to hold, that you would put it in a savings account and let it accrue interest?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a true believer in that. That's what I expect to do very soon. So.
Have you mapped out a plan for how much you want to save in a certain time frame once you do get employment?
I don't want to sit here and think big, so the minimum, at least $30 out of every paycheck, after all bills and, you know, other, you know, expenses that need to be paid, miscellaneous or utilities. I believe that's feasible. $30, between $30 and $50.
Very much so. Yeah. Those little pieces add up. say definitely do it quick too. Cool. Jimmy. All right. One thing I failed to do is we don't have any consent forms.
Get a verbal consent. Get a verbal consent, okay.
Oh. Do you know the language to use? How should we say it?
Do we have your consent to use this in our research studies?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Please do.
Good. And if I get a hold of a form, I'll email that to you too. You can
Okay.
just send it back.
That's fine.
Cool. All right. Did you have any more questions?